Back from the dead.
Hi guys, Failco here. Today I want to talk about Voden, Warden of the Forest. Voden is a really unique ranged attacker and has a ton of utility in this kit. You can build around damage, spreading poison, supporting your team, or maximizing your movement speed. I'll go through a few different builds and upgrades and explain why they would be useful and when to take them. Voden is a ranged DPS character. He excels at poking enemies down and debuffing them with poison. With Voden, you have the ability to act as an assassin, even chase targets out, and escape pretty easily by confusing enemies with your clone, rooting them in place, or jumping to safety. You don't really want to be on the front lines, but more medium range, where you can influence the fight with your focus, or harass melee characters from a safe distance. Voden has a lot of tools to deal with any situation, all about knowing which upgrades to take to maximize your influence on the game. If you like to do damage as quickly as possible, I suggest the Deadeye ability first. This upgrade gives you 20% more damage from powered up shots. You can feel the impact of it instantly. The next upgrade to complement it is Bowflex, which powers up your shots 33% faster. Basically, you can charge your arrows up faster for more damage more frequently. I feel like Bowflex is superior to Longshot. I've tested both out, and Longshot is one upgrade that really doesn't feel that useful. Your arrows fly faster and don't have the damage fall off that normal arrows have, but it feels worse since you can't power up your arrows as fast and you miss out on some damage because of this. Longshot just doesn't really work as a good upgrade. Deadeye and Bowflex are always the better choice. You do more damage more consistently, so I'd suggest sticking with that instead. The third upgrade you might want to get is Geyser. This is a fun upgrade. It gives allies the ability to super jump for a few seconds, and it's amazing for getting your entire team up to areas for fast rotations, saving you from enemies by giving you distance and verticality over them, and great for getting to a wound or escapes after taking a wound. Personally, I get this ability second, but it's not necessary until level 3. I just like the extra early mobility. The fourth upgrade you should try to get is Voden's poison ability, Seeking Spores. Personally, I usually get Seeking Spores, but what you can take depends very much on the situation. I'm bad at aiming, and if you are bad at aiming, this is kind of a must-have upgrade for you, since it can be upgraded further to homing. Get some nearly guaranteed damage. Level 5 and 6, I get Voden's first focus abilities. These are really strong passives that add a lot to your gameplay. You can choose the mobility path by way of Easy Strider, which gives you 10% move speed and 25% less stamina loss, or the Assassin damage path by way of Tactical Awareness, which gives you 10 back damage reduction and allows you to do 10% more damage from behind. Now this is really where you decide what kind of role you are playing in the game. Are you going to juke melee heroes if the enemy is mostly melee, assassins and high damage bruisers? Or are you going to just murder everyone because you feel a bit safer? You will want to upgrade this level 5 and level 6 so you can immediately stockpile your focus to start either getting speed and armor with hit and run, which gives you 10% move speed and 10 armor after using focus, or getting damage with focus might, which allows you to gain 7% damage from behind after using focus, up to 14% damage. These are the best options to provide maximum effects to you during the game. I usually go for Focus Might since I just like the damage it does. But Hit and Run offers some of the best mobility in the game. You also get your Clash talent at level 5, and here's where you need to make another decision. Do you want damage or do you want more utility? Are there healers on the other team giving you a hard time? Every Clash talent serves a purpose. Let's talk about them for a minute. For most damage builds, Heart of Oak is pretty standard. This ability gives you plus 1 second stealth and decoy duration, and during Clash you have 25% damage resistance while your decoy is alive. No matter how you upgrade your clone, this is a useful ability for having your decoy distract others longer or be alive longer to deal more damage. Toxin is a passive that grants plus 1 second poison duration, and during Clash when you hit an enemy with it, it grants nearby allies 15% damage for 5 seconds. This is strong if your team has a lot of melees and if you're sticking with them, helping them to take down enemies. The buff will apply to them and be really strong. Toxin is great for dealing with healers on the other team, since poison reduces their healing. Spring Back is an upgrade for Voden Spring. It grants 35% healing to the spring, and during Clash, if other allies are in your spring, it grants minus 5 second cooldown. If you want to build Voden Spring to cleanse or heal more, then this is the talent to get for you. At level 7, I'd like to finish off my poison ability usually, and from personal preference, I usually go with Hungry Spores, which gives Voden's Thrown Poison a homing upgrade to kind of chase people a bit. You can really get some nice kills with it, and it hits multiple targets if they're close enough to each other. The next upgrade I usually get is my Clone ability at level 8. Although I personally like the alternate route ability, which is the ability to go invisible and swap to your clone's position, this is really a personal preference. If you don't want to lose your stealth, choose this ability. If you just want to pump out damage, choose Companion's Boon, since your clone can be used to open up creatures and deal damage to enemies. More risky, but it can be great for damage output. I usually finish this build off with getting my last Hidden Spring upgrade at level 9 and my last clone ability at level 10. I go for Refreshment on my spring, which gives me 25 stamina when I use it, unless I need more peel for myself, and then I'll go Burst Forth, which can push and slow enemies that enter the spring. Use. This is your personal preference and what will help you more do damage without being harassed by melees. Personally, I like to take one with nature for my clone, since I can teleport back to it and be healed for 250 health. You usually will want to drop your clone on your jump pad, jump away, let the enemy chase you for a bit, teleport back to your clone, jump away in the other direction. This will enable you to juke out people, heal, and make some great escapes. The spring lasts for 6 seconds, so be sure to get the timing right. Of course, Leave No Trace is also a very viable option, where after teleporting back to your clone, you are granted 15 stamina and haste for 3 seconds. This can work very well if you're building Voden's focus ability to use the Strider and hit and run, making Voden very fast and a lot more slippery. For Companion's Boon, homing poison isn't super accurate on the clone, so I usually get Spring to Life, where the decoy creates healing springs that heal for 45 HP per second. You can run into this for some extra healing while trying to escape enemies. For the Spore Imitation build, the clone is a lot more accurate the closer it is to the target, so keep that in mind. Most of the time, I won't even get the second upgrade on the clone, since the AI gets a little funky, and you miss out on damage. Voden's Focus, what does it do? This focus is a targeted projectile that has an area of effect. Voden fires an arrow that deals damage and immobilizes all foes in the area. One focus lasts 2 seconds, 2 focus lasts 3 seconds, and 3 focus lasts 4 seconds. This ability can be cleansed, and certain heroes can break out of it, such as Wu and Taito, so use it carefully. Hit your shots. This is the most important tip I can give. The most obvious one, sure, but with Voden, if you're not accurate, then you're being useless and forcing your team to work harder to deal damage and kill enemies, so hit your stuff. Be mindful of where the enemy melee heroes are. Don't get caught by surprise by an enemy melee hero. They can be tough to get away from if you get crippled from the back. If you are crippled, you have a greater chance of dying since you won't be able to jump off of your jump pad. When is Voden's shotgun build useful? If there's a lot of melee in the enemy team, or even a lot of AI, like Ashlyn or Griselma, for example, you might want to build shotgun. You might want to get Contagion, so poison spreads to multiple heroes, and build piercing arrows if you're going to have to deal with a lot of shield and armor, aka Ashlyn and Griselma. Even heroes like Margrave. If you're having issues with melee, grab Tangle Root tips to ensure you can slow enemies when you're close, and to generate extra focus, which will help you deal with them better. When should I take Voden's jump pad? This is a personal preference, but I like to have jump pad as early as level 3. Voden's jump pad is still one of the strongest abilities in the game, since all of your teammates can use it as well to escape with escapes, rotations, chasing down enemies, you name it. Should I ever get acute poison? If there are annoying healers like Vidasi and there's just too much healing to go around, I like the acute poison upgrade. It deals increased damage by 50 points and inflicts a 75% healing reduction. Remember that this is a targeted ability. You gotta aim it carefully, and it's really only for targeting single heroes. This goes well with the Toxin Clash talent for the +1 second poison duration and giving allies 15% damage for 5 seconds. Is the cleanse on Voden's E ability any good? Yes, it's great if your team is up against a lot of dot damage. Heroes like Ramsey, Gnosis, Zenobia, Oru, all of them have abilities that can be cleansed and make fighting them a lot easier. You'll sacrifice verticality for this though. You might want to take mobility on upgrades along with it for better survival chances. Remember that you have to place the pools on heroes in order to cleanse them. Having trouble with melees? Try getting more spores and virulence on Voden's poison. Use these to have your poison cloud last longer, 8 seconds, cover a larger area, and deal 150 damage to attackers when they are hit by it. This makes melees think twice about attacking you. Also, getting Burst Forth on Voden's Hidden Spring ability, his E, will push enemies and slow them if they are in your spring when you use it. It's great for pushing them away. Use verticality to your advantage and position yourself out of the reach of assassins if you can. When do I choose alternate route over Companion's Boon? If you find yourself needing to escape and juke out opponents, I find the alternate route to be the much safer option. Keep stealth and can use it to get away from people, and upgrade it for a burst of speed and some health on teleportation. Voden is one of my favorite heroes to play. He offers speed, verticality, and one of the most diverse and fun playstyles of any gigantic hero. I hope this guide has helped you learn a bit more about how he works, and I'll see you in the next video. Failco out!